This message is for Tiffany Haddish. Tiffany Haddish, the American comic, African American comic. I saw a video where she visited Zimbabwe, and she seemed extremely shocked that in Zimbabwe there are shops, grocery shops, large grocery shops like America. I was very, very disappointed with her comments. Tiffany, I will not repeat your name again. Tiffany, I urge you to come to my country, Laughter Republic. You will see a country better than America. In fact, lots of African Americans are relocating to my country. Tiffany, you should not be surprised by what we offer in Africa. I don't know how to get hold of Tiffany. I know that she hooks up with, what's his name, that short one, Kevin Hart. If she gets this message, or if there's anyone who knows her, tag Tiffany Haddish. The name is President Obonjo of Laughter Republic. I was really shocked that you were shocked that we had grocery stores in Zimbabwe. Come to Laughter Republic. I will show you bigger grocery stores than the ones that you have in America. I look forward to hearing from you. Thank you.
Okay, so I guess y'all seen that video by President whatever, you know, Tiffany Haddish, whatever. I guess everybody in their mama trying to be offended these days. It must be something in the water, something in the milk, whatever the situation is. Everybody trying to be offended over everything. But anyway, instead of getting pissed off at Haddish, Tiffany Haddish, for showing the world that there are grocery stores in Africa, why not look at it from a different perspective? The perspective of forget the fact that she's a comedian. Tiffany is a representation of what a lot of people all around the world think about Africa. They think Africa is very underdeveloped. A bunch of zoos, animals just running around. You know, everybody just butt ass naked, titties flying. This is what a lot of people think about Africa, and I can't really blame them. You know, number one, a lot of that has to do with slavery, colonization, white supremacy, all of that. But at the same time, too, a lot of that has to do with us Africans too, the way we behave. And I've talked about this so many times. Yeah, I'm not even trying to get to that conversation right now. But this is how the world, a lot of the world, thinks about us. Even me, as an African living in America, I've been asked all kinds of absurd questions. And when I was younger, it used to piss me off. But now that I'm older, I get it. I understand. It's not entirely their fault that they think the same, they think that about Africa. It's not entirely their fault. The reason why they think that is ignorance. And ignorance is human. They are ignorant of the reality in Africa, just like you are ignorant of the reality in their country or their culture. Let's keep it real. A lot of y'all Africans think America is heaven. That is ignorance. Until you get here, you come to realize, no, it's not heaven. There's still some fuck shit here. That's ignorance. And the way to mitigate or bridge that ignorance is education. You educate someone, okay? Um, Tiffany, from her perspective, she's probably informing, educating the world. Like, yo, there are grocery stores in Africa. It's neither right nor wrong. She is educating her fans. She has a huge fan base. This message would get to a whole lot of people, and a lot of people will be, one by one enlightened, and one by one, a lot of that mentality of what they think of Africa just dissipates over time. Because let's keep it real, a lot of her followers are Americans who will probably never go to Africa because of the mentality of what they think of Africa. But with her educating them, this could potentially bring revenue to Africans, or African countries, and give Africa in a positive limelight. All I'm saying is, instead of being so quick to pick and just microscopically pick at what each other we do, we need to start thinking more collectively. I'm not saying make excuses for fuck shit, but you have to understand humans will be humans, okay? Part of being human is, I don't know, doing what you do. Like Tiffany, she has a way with words, and she's also a comedian, and this is her being Tiffany. I'm not saying excuses. But this is how she communicate into the word. If it's truly what she's saying is detrimental to the group of people that she's talking to or talking about, right? She needs to be educated appropriately. I don't think this was intentionally malicious, in my opinion. It's a reflection of the ignorance that a lot of, not just Black Americans or Americans in general, people in general feel about Africans. I don't think she meant it to be negative. I think what she did was actually a positive thing. But if you remove your ego, your self fucking righteousness, your narcissism, okay, and look at things from a neutral perspective, you will come to realize that we are all actually more similar than not. And this bullshit of trying to, analyze people's words and people's opinions so you can fight them and y'all fight each other is more reflective of us, okay? Because hurt people hurt people. Do you understand what I'm saying? Confidence is still. A confident person is somebody who understands from a neutral perspective, whose mind, body, and spirit is still, and to see everything from a neutral perspective. And they're intelligent enough to understand when someone is intentional and malicious versus when somebody is just being human. And to be human is ignorance. And the way to mitigate ignorance is in knowledge, education with EQ, emotional intelligence. Not this narcissistic bullshit. Everybody just getting, offended over all kinds of dumb shit. Chad, this word, when I tell you, I clocked that from this shit. Whew, Lord. So, Dr. President Mr. Mbashi, whatever the fuck his name is, instead of you sitting there acting like you're from Black Panther, Wakanda, which you ain't, you should actually be humble enough, especially at your age. You should have the humility, the intellect, the emotional intelligence to look at things from a totally different perspective and see that this is a long lost sister, because of history, who is actually, you know, open enough to take a trip to your country to help your struggle ass economy. Let's just keep it real. And she's also educating other people like her. As opposed to you trying to find a viral moment with your little whatever the fuck. My meet about that call. Gonna get it. Kasa kwa mama kere bara isha wo. See, look, na me fit Africans, oh, it's me that fit you people. Because this serene unumega. I'm an Aba boy. Do you understand what I'm saying? All this brand unupoga. I'm from Naba. I from the 10 too. So I see through people's fuck shit. Okay? There's a whole difference between you trying to be, like intentionally informative, educational, as opposed to you trying to, use an opportunity to go viral and stroke your ego and your narcissism. Tiffany didn't do anything wrong, okay? Her video is a reflection of what a lot of the world thinks of Africa, and I can't really blame them. I don't co-sign it, but at the same time, too, I understand. And that's a big deal for me to even understand as an African. I've been to so many different countries where I was disrespected, even though I was traveling with a U.S. passport, but it says born in Nigeria, or place of birth in Nigeria. I understand. I understand that separation as to how the ego comes and divide and conquers. And yeah, getting pissed off at this lady, cursing her out is a reflection of that shit. The ego's feeding off of that divide, that our pain and further perpetuating this whole divide and conquer. Whoo, loud. We need to start thinking about all of us, okay? Not just us, all of us, okay? There's so much pain to go around. There's so much brokenness to go around. And the only people we got is us, okay? Look at everybody's perspective from a neutral perspective. Educate people from a place of love, EQ, and understand that ignorance is human. Then we have a better chance of surviving this shit and navigating through this shit and go back home. Because, child, I want to go home. I want to go home because this place is smelling. I'm tired. I'm tired. Uche, peace and love.